this time, I would like for you to meet the staff of the team that we've gotten together so far. Ron Wolf. Ron is a vice president of operations. He was head of the Oakland Raiders personnel for 13 years, and Ron is #1 man.
In 1976, Ron Wolf was the chain-smoking, workaholic general manager of the Buccaneers. At 37, he was a bright young guy, but he aged rapidly that first season.
I came in, I was too cocky, too confident. I was not as smart as I thought I was. This was my big opportunity to go in and show everybody in the National Football League that I could run a franchise. I bombed as badly as anybody's ever done in the history of the league.
Well, that's a frank afraid.
No, it is. That's the truth.
I think the main thing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need are quality football players in order to become competitive. The biggest thing we're trying to avoid is being embarrassed in the National Football League this season.
It was on-the-job training. We were learning on the job, and during my watch, we set a standard in Tampa Bay that'll never be topped in the National Football League. 0-26. I cringe every time I hear that, and I root for a lot of people to break that, but I know that'll be one record that'll never be broken.
Ron's fortunes improved considerably when he went to Green Bay in 1991. He built a team that won 3 straight division titles, back-to-back conference championships, and a Super Bowl in 1997.
Well done. To the fans of Green Bay, this is yours as much as it is ours, and we thank you very much for that.
When we interviewed Ron, he had just announced his retirement as general manager in Green Bay. He was far removed from that '76 season, but he did have some fond memories of his time in Tampa Bay.
One thing that happened to me in Tampa, that's the greatest thing that's ever happened to Ron Wolf, is I met my wife there. We've had 22 years of marriage now. We have 2 children, and it's even though we went 0-26, the best thing that ever happened to me was I met my wife there. That'll be on the floor, I know. I put that, just throw that in there. Get that out of there.
The most impressive statistics associated with the 1976 Bucs all belong to Abe Gibron, the team's wide-bodied defensive coordinator.
We have a coach by the name of Abe Gibron that I truly love. He's a super guy, but I do get headaches when I have to order his coaching gear. As you can see in these coaching shorts, he has about a 50 waist, and up to a normal person's size, you can see the difference. And just talking about Abe's clothes in general, he has a size 11 Triple E shoe. His waist size is about 50. He wears a 4X shirt. He's just a very large person.
33, 35, set.
A cartoon character, one of the all-time great guys. God didn't invent many ABs.
You know, his upper body was like a sumo wrestler, but from his waist down, he was one part of a ball player. From his waist up, he was another.
His behind just kind of went this way and his waist went that way, so it just didn't work.
The funny thing about Abe was that he was big, and yet he was quick on his feet.
If Abe started to run and started to chuckle, his pants would always go down to his knees. They have to always hitch him up.
Let's go, come on. Come on, Consul. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh. Let's go. Bring it in. Hands. Don't fight for it. And everything pulls your pants down.
He was a real character. He was fun to be around. Gosh, he was fun to be around.
We have head of our pro scouting is Tom Bass from Cincinnati Bengals. Tom Bass.
Director of pro personnel Tom Bass looked like a James Bond villain, but inside that menacing body beat the heart of a poet.
Tom Bass was probably I thought, as much of a two-personality person as I'd ever seen. He was so gentle when he'd write poetry and then recite it to you, and then you see what a hulk of a man he was.
Yeah, he was intimidating, very gruff and tough guy. If I was in a fight, I'd want him on my side, not the other side. One important thing that I remember about him is he writes poetry, and he's really very, very good. He has several books of poetry out on the market now.
Today, Bass is retired and lives near the beach in Carlsbad, California.
I enjoy the water. I think the water is important to my life. And I started writing poetry when I was coaching because I didn't have a lot of time to write anything else. I feel the pain at odd moments throughout the day. It serves as a constant reminder of the price that sometimes must be paid for a brief few moments of glory and success. It's never really there on those Sunday afternoons when for 20 weeks I lose myself in playing, becoming so involved I forget about my body, loving just to play. There can be no doubt who will be the loser in the end, but I would have it no other way. Pro football is my way of life, and part of me shall die the year I can no longer play.
Want the lowest prices on 3- and 4-star hotels? Go to Hotwire.com. Hotwire has special deals with 4-star hotels. They give Hotwire their unsold rooms, and Hotwire gives them to you at prices lower than any other travel site. Guaranteed. Like 4 stars in Chicago. Travelocity price $179. Hotwire price just $83. So why risk paying more when Hotwire gives you unsold rooms at deep discounts? Visit Hotwire.com for the hottest deals on 4-star hotels. Hotwire.com. Log on today.
Some people like to pretend a flood could never happen to them, and that their homeowner's insurance protects them. It doesn't. Stop pretending. It can happen to you. Protect your home with flood insurance. Call 1-888-FLOOD-03 for your free brochure. That's 1-888-FLOOD-03.
If it's not your camera moving, it's your subject moving. But whatever the cause, millions of digital pictures came out blurry last year, giving people millions of reasons to upgrade to the new FinePix F30 and V10 from Fujifilm. With a totally unique Fujifilm system called Real Photo Technology, and with it, a breakthrough called picture stabilization. Visit Fujifilm-RPT.com and you'll learn how that can mean the difference between backgrounds that are murky or clear, foregrounds that are washed out, or natural. The F30 and V10 capture great shots, even when the light is low, when your target is moving, or you'd rather not use a flash. Visit Fujifilm-RPT.com and you'll also see how the F30's iFlash automatically adjusts its brightness for every picture. And how to get a $50 rebate on a higher level of digital from Fujifilm.
I remember the very first day when a ragamuffin bunch of kids came under that goalpost trying to look important, trying to look like the National Football League.
We had so much enthusiasm that we had a team in Tampa. That first summer camp, we'd go out there and say, hey, we're going to win some games. Team's not going to be bad. It's not going to be a typical expansion team. But then reality came in later on.
As far as the talent is concerned, I was shocked. We had players that probably couldn't have played at the University of Southern California on our second team, and they were starting for us. Our first couple staff meetings, we were looking at each other saying, wow, we have a ways to go here.
Good. Yeah.
We went through 140-some players the first year. If their heart was beating and their arms were warm, they were on the field.
We basically got a lot of guys that nobody else wanted, including me. I played 9 years at San Francisco, only played about 1 of the 9 years, so I was very expendable.
We had our names on pieces of tape stuck to the front of our helmet so that, we'd know who each other was, and so the coaches would know who each other was.
A collection of guys from all over the place getting together. I mean, in the first day, people introducing people to one another. Nobody knew who anybody was. I introduced myself to one guy, a guy named Pornell Dickinson, who was one of our quarterbacks. I said, I'm John McKay. He went, you're the coach? And I didn't think I looked that old at the time.
The only thing more depressing than the practices was the heat.
I'll tell you one thing, it seems to me like it got hotter since we came out here.
I remember going out for the first practice and looking around at all these guys, and they were all dying. I mean, it was just so humid and hot.
I've never been in such warm conditions as there were here in July and August.
Different kind of heat. It was very humid. You could set your watch by it.
We actually welcomed the daily rain showers that would interrupt practice. I thought the thunder and lightning was a better show than the Buccaneers.
Every day after practice, the rains come, adding to the mind-bending sameness of summer camp.
Players found out that Coach McKay was deathly afraid of lightning. And the minute lightning was anywhere around, you know, he'd call off practice.
When he saw it in the distance, we got off the field. He didn't want to take any chances.
The thunder and lightning was incredible. I can remember one day, Steve Sable looks at me and he goes, "Hank, let's go up this roof here and shoot some of this lightning."
Other than the control tower at the airport, Hank McElwee and Steve Sable were the highest things in the area in an amazing electrical storm.
And I can remember we had trash bags on his raincoats. And we're standing on this metal roof, and there's lightning going all around us, and I'm saying to myself, this is it. There's no way we're not going to get struck by lightning.
The most memorable scene in Birth of the Bucks involved a free agent rookie halfback from the University of Illinois named John C. Wilson.
2 years away from the game have begun to erode his skills. But perhaps an even greater indictment is his difficulty in learning the plays.
Well, I know I'm not doing too good as far as mental, but I think they're taking me along a little slow because I'm a little slow in learning, but I can learn. The hardest thing, it has to be the mental aspect. I study a lot. You know, I'm about got it down now, just about.
Now, Hank and I had positioned our camera at the far end of the field, and we were rolling when John McKay told the rookie he was cut. It was the first time we'd ever captured anything like that on film.
We're going to have to let you go.
Right.
But I think you've worked real hard, Johnny, on it and things. But I think there's 2 or 3 guys that haven't played as much in the last year or two, and I think it's tough to come back, you know. I think you've lost some of your speed. Do you feel like you've lost some of your speed?
Well, no, not really, but like a groin muscle went kind of bad on me.
John C. Wilson never caught on with another team, and he quietly faded from sight, except for those occasions when we would rerun that footage. Now, when we were putting this film together, we thought, now here is the ultimate lost treasure, John C. Wilson. Let's see if we can find him. We put our entire research staff to work trying to track down the elusive John C. Wilson.
It took about 6 of us making calls for about 2 months. It was a very tedious process to go through.
Hi, this is Chris Hangley. I'm calling from NFL Films.
We're trying to track down a John C. Wilson.
He tried out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976.
After weeks of dead ends, finally, Erica Pitt found our man. He was living in the tiny town of Kingstree, South Carolina.
I was so excited that after all these phone calls, I actually found him. Like, it was done.
You'll never believe it. You'll never believe it. And she told someone, I finally got him. You know, don't go anywhere now. I finally got him.
Now, there isn't much going on in Kingstree. When we arrived to interview John, it was the lead story in the local paper. John met us at the Kingstree Junior High School, where he works as a truant officer. He still didn't understand why we had traveled all this way just to interview him. As it turned out, John had never seen the film until our producer, Louis Schmidt, played it for him that day.
Okay, hit the play button and let's see what we got here.
One boy is having some problems out there, as you know, John Wilson, Coach. 2 years away from the game have begun to erode his skills. But perhaps an even greater indictment is his difficulty in learning the play.
We're going to have to let you go. We'll have to put you on waivers, but if somebody picks you up, why don't you just work out every day? If you're not in shape to show the coach, he has no idea of your ability because he hasn't seen you before. Okay? Sure. Thanks, John. Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Oh, man, that was a day. Like I said, I had no malice. I felt to give me a fair shake because I had been out, and so I felt good within myself that I had done the best I could.
Did you follow them that season? And what did you feel when they didn't win a game that whole season?
Bad. I thought maybe that there were some times that, you know, like any human being, if I were in a certain situation, I could have helped, but...
When McKay cut you, and I know that was bad news, you were listening to him, did you have any idea that there were cameras around you?
No.
Never saw the cameras?
Well, I had tunnel vision at the time. Tunnel vision as to, so well, if I'm going back home now, you know, what am I going to do?